Imagine if the secret to transforming your hardest challenges into moments of incredible growth was discovered more than 2,000 years ago. Imagine being able to face life's toughest problems with a calmness so deep that nothing could shake your inner peace. This idea comes from the wise teachings of Buddha, who once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." This means that your thoughts have the power to shape your life. So, what if you could use your mind to turn every difficult situation into a chance to learn and grow? It's almost like having a superpower. Today, we're going to explore some ancient Buddhist principles that can help you do just that. These teachings are not just old words from a distant past. They are tools you can use in your everyday life to find peace and strength, no matter what challenges come your way. By understanding and practicing these principles, you can start to see your struggles as opportunities, making your life better and more fulfilling. Ready to unlock this superpower? Let's dive in. 1. Embracing obstacles as opportunities. In Buddhism, challenges are not just seen as obstacles in our path, but as valuable opportunities for personal growth and development. This perspective shifts the way we approach difficulties in life. Instead of viewing challenges as things that block our progress or bring us down, Buddhism teaches us to look at them as important parts of our journey. These obstacles are not meant to discourage us, but to help us grow. Every challenge we encounter, no matter how big or small, carries with it a lesson that can make us stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Imagine you're on a journey, walking along a path, and you come across a big rock blocking your way. At first, it might seem frustrating, even impossible to overcome. But what if instead of feeling defeated, you saw that rock as a chance to learn something new? Maybe it's an opportunity to figure out a way around it, or perhaps you learn to climb over it, gaining strength and confidence in the process. This is how Buddhism encourages us to view the challenges we face in life. One of the core teachings in Buddhism is the idea that our perspective shapes our experience of the world. If we see obstacles as negative, they will feel like heavy burdens. However, if we change our perspective and view them as opportunities for growth, they can become powerful tools for personal development. This change in perspective is not always easy, especially when we are in the midst of a difficult situation. However, with practice, we can train our minds to see challenges in a more positive light. Buddhism teaches that life is full of challenges, and this is something we cannot avoid. But what we can control is how we respond to these challenges. Instead of allowing them to overwhelm us, we can choose to see them as opportunities to learn and evolve. This doesn't mean that challenges are not difficult or painful, but it does mean that they have the potential to teach us something valuable. Each challenge we face is like a hidden lesson waiting to be discovered. These lessons can vary greatly depending on the situation. For example, a personal loss might teach us about the impermanence of life and the importance of cherishing the moments we have. A difficult relationship might teach us about patience, empathy, or the importance of setting boundaries. Financial difficulties could lead us to learn about managing resources better and appreciating the value of what we have. In Buddhism, these lessons are seen as essential for our personal and spiritual growth. By facing challenges head-on and reflecting on what they have to teach us, we can become more resilient. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from difficulties, and it's a quality that can help us navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease. One of the keys to transforming challenges into opportunities is cultivating an open mind and a positive attitude. An open mind allows us to see situations from different perspectives and be receptive to the lessons they offer. A positive attitude helps us to stay motivated and focused on the potential benefits of overcoming challenges rather than getting bogged down by negativity. In Buddhism, Mindfulness is a practice that can help us develop these qualities. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment and observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, we can become more aware of our reactions to challenges and begin to shift our perspective. For example, when faced with a difficult situation, instead of immediately reacting with frustration or fear, we can take a step back, breathe, and observe what is happening. This pause gives us the space to respond more thoughtfully and to consider how we can turn the situation into an opportunity for growth. When we embrace challenges with an open mind and a positive attitude, we begin to see our struggles as stepping stones on the path to a more fulfilling and enlightened life. Each challenge we overcome builds our strength and resilience, making us better equipped to handle future difficulties. Over time, this approach can lead to a profound transformation in how we experience life. Instead of being weighed down by obstacles, we start to see them as essential parts of our journey. We realize that without these challenges, we would not be able to grow and develop in the same way. This doesn't mean that challenges are easy or that we should seek them out, but it does mean that when they do arise, we can face them with courage and an open heart. In conclusion, Buddhism offers a powerful way to reframe the challenges we face in life. By viewing obstacles as opportunities for growth, we can transform our struggles into valuable lessons that lead us toward a more fulfilling and enlightened life. This shift in perspective requires practice and patience, but it is a path worth pursuing. Through mindfulness, an open mind, and a positive attitude, we can learn to embrace challenges rather than fear them. Each challenge becomes a stepping stone on our journey, helping us to build resilience, gain wisdom, and ultimately move closer to a state of enlightenment. By adopting this approach, we can navigate life's storms with a sense of peace and purpose, knowing that every challenge has the potential to bring us closer to our true selves. 2. Living in the present moment. Buddhism teaches us the profound importance of living fully in the present moment through a practice known as mindfulness. In our fast-paced lives, it's easy to get caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. These thoughts can weigh heavily on us, causing stress and preventing us from truly enjoying life as it unfolds. Mindfulness invites us to shift our focus away from these distractions and instead concentrate on what is happening right now. Mindfulness is about being fully present and engaged in whatever we are doing at any given moment. It means paying attention to the little details that we often overlook when our minds are elsewhere, whether we are having a conversation, enjoying a meal, or even just taking a breath. Mindfulness encourages us to experience these moments with greater clarity and vividness. When we practice mindfulness, we are not simply going through the motions of life. We are actively participating in each moment, allowing ourselves to experience life more deeply. One of the biggest challenges to living in the present moment is our tendency to worry about the future or dwell on the past. These thoughts can consume a significant amount of our mental energy, leaving us feeling drained and anxious. Worrying about the future often stems from fear of the unknown or concerns about what might go wrong. On the other hand, dwelling on the past can lead to feelings of regret, guilt, or sadness over things we cannot change. When we are caught up in these kinds of thoughts, we are not fully present in our current experiences. Instead of enjoying a beautiful sunset, we might be thinking about tomorrow's to-do list. Instead of savoring a meal, we might be replaying an uncomfortable conversation from earlier in the day. This constant mental chatter can rob us of the peace and joy that comes from simply being in the moment. Mindfulness offers a way to break free from this cycle of worry and regret by helping us focus on the present. At its core, mindfulness is about bringing our attention to the here and now without judgment or distraction. This doesn't mean ignoring the past or future altogether. Rather, it's about choosing to center our awareness on what is happening right now. Practicing mindfulness can be as simple as paying attention to your breath. Taking a few deep breaths and noticing the sensation of air entering and leaving your body can help anchor you in the present moment. This simple act of focusing on your breath can be incredibly powerful, especially when your mind is racing with anxious thoughts. Another way to practice mindfulness is by engaging fully in whatever activity you are doing. If you're eating, take the time to really taste and appreciate your food. Notice the flavors, textures, and smells. If you're having a conversation, listen attentively to the other person without thinking about what you're going to say next. By giving your full attention to these activities, you can experience them more fully and find greater enjoyment in them. Living in the present moment through mindfulness offers numerous benefits for our mental and emotional well-being. When we focus on the now, we are less likely to feel overwhelmed by the stresses of the future or the burdens of the past. This can lead to a greater sense of peace and calm in our lives. Mindfulness also helps us to connect more deeply with our experiences. When we are fully present, we notice things we might otherwise overlook, such as the beauty of nature, the warmth of a loved one's smile, or the satisfaction of completing a task. These small moments can bring us a sense of joy and contentment that might otherwise go unnoticed. Furthermore, mindfulness can improve our relationships with others. By being fully present in our interactions, we become better listeners and more empathetic communicators. This can strengthen our connections with those around us and create more meaningful and fulfilling relationships. Mindfulness is not just about finding peace, it's also about finding meaning in each moment. When we are fully engaged with the present, we begin to see the value in even the smallest details of our lives. A simple walk in the park, for example, can become a deeply enriching experience when we are mindful of the sights, sounds, and sensations around us. We start to appreciate the world in a new way, finding beauty and significance in things we might have previously taken for granted. Living in the present moment also allows us to let go of distractions and anxieties. When we are mindful, we are not worrying about what comes next or what has already happened. Instead, we are focused on what is happening right now, and this can be incredibly liberating. It frees us from the mental clutter that often keeps us from truly enjoying life. In conclusion, Buddhism's emphasis on mindfulness teaches us the value of living fully in the present moment. By focusing our attention on what is happening right now, we can experience life with greater clarity, peace, and joy. Mindfulness helps us to let go of worries about the future and regrets about the past, allowing us to find contentment in the here and now. It encourages us to be fully engaged in our experiences, to appreciate the details of life, and to find meaning in each moment. Practicing mindfulness is a powerful way to enhance our well-being and enrich our lives. Whether through paying attention to our breath, savoring a meal, or simply being present in our daily activities, mindfulness invites us to experience life more deeply and to discover the beauty of living in the moment. 3. Developing emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to cope with life's challenges and setbacks without being overwhelmed by negative emotions. It's a crucial skill that allows us to maintain inner peace and balance, even when things go wrong. In Buddhism, developing this resilience is seen as essential for living a life of harmony and contentment. Instead of letting emotions like anger, fear, or sadness take over, Buddhism teaches us to observe these feelings with a sense of detachment. By practicing mindfulness and self-awareness, we can learn to respond to difficulties with calm and clarity rather than reacting impulsively. In life, we all face moments that challenge our emotional well-being. Whether it's a disagreement with a loved one, a stressful situation at work, or a personal loss, these events can trigger intense emotions. In many cases, our first instinct might be to react quickly, often letting these emotions control our actions. However, this can lead to decisions we later regret, or feelings that only intensify the problem. Buddhism offers a different approach. It encourages us to take a step back and observe our emotions instead of immediately acting on them. This practice doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring our feelings. On the contrary, it involves recognizing them, understanding their origins, and making conscious choices about how to respond. This approach is at the heart of emotional resilience. By not allowing our emotions to dictate our actions, we create space to choose responses that are aligned with our values and that contribute to our long-term well-being. Mindfulness is a key practice in Buddhism that helps build emotional resilience. Mindfulness is the act of being fully present in the moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. When we are mindful, we can observe our emotions as they arise, without being swept away by them. For example, if you find yourself feeling angry, mindfulness allows you to notice this anger without immediately reacting. You might observe the physical sensations associated with anger, such as a racing heart or tense muscles, and acknowledge the thoughts fueling this emotion. Instead of acting on this anger, you can pause and consider the best course of action. This pause is where resilience begins. It gives you the opportunity to respond in a way that is thoughtful and measured, rather than impulsive and potentially harmful. Self-awareness is another important aspect of developing emotional resilience. Self-awareness involves understanding your own emotions, motivations, and reactions. It's about knowing what triggers your emotional responses and why you react the way you do. In Buddhism, self-awareness is cultivated through practices like meditation and reflection. Through meditation, we can explore our inner world and gain insights into our emotional patterns. We might notice, for example, that certain situations consistently make us feel anxious or frustrated. By becoming aware of these patterns, we can start to work on them, either by changing our external environment or by adjusting our internal responses. Self-awareness also helps us to recognize when we are starting to feel overwhelmed by emotions. This recognition is crucial because it allows us to take proactive steps to manage our emotions before they become too intense. For instance, if we notice that we are becoming increasingly stressed, we can engage in activities that help us relax and regain our composure, such as deep breathing exercises or a mindful walk in nature. One of the main goals of developing emotional resilience is to be able to respond to life's challenges with calm and clarity. This means not letting our emotions cloud our judgment or dictate our actions. When we respond with calmness, we are better able to think clearly and make decisions that are in our best interest. In Buddhism, this calmness is often referred to as equanimity, a state of mental and emotional stability that remains unshaken by the highs and lows of life. Equanimity doesn't mean being indifferent or detached from life's experiences. Rather, it means maintaining a balanced perspective, where we can experience emotions without being controlled by them. Achieving this level of calmness requires practice. It involves regularly engaging in mindfulness and self-awareness exercises and making a conscious effort to remain present in the face of challenges. Over time, these practices strengthen our emotional resilience, making it easier to stay composed even in difficult situations. Developing emotional resilience has numerous benefits for our overall well-being. When we are emotionally resilient, we are better equipped to handle stress and adversity. We can face challenges with a sense of confidence, knowing that we have the tools to manage our emotions and respond effectively. Emotional resilience also leads to greater stability in our lives. When we are not easily swayed by our emotions, we can maintain a sense of balance even when things don't go as planned. This stability helps us navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease, leading to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Furthermore, emotional resilience enhances our relationships with others. When we are able to manage our emotions, we can communicate more effectively, resolve conflicts more peacefully, and connect with others on a deeper level. This strengthens our bonds with those around us, contributing to a more supportive and harmonious social environment. In conclusion, emotional resilience is a vital skill that enables us to handle life's challenges with grace and composure. In Buddhism, developing this resilience is key to maintaining inner peace and balance. By practicing mindfulness and self-awareness, we can learn to observe our emotions without being overwhelmed by them. This allows us to respond to difficulties with calm and clarity, rather than reacting impulsively. Over time, this practice builds emotional strength, helping us remain steady and composed even in the face of life's storms. With emotional resilience, we become better equipped to navigate life's ups and downs, leading to greater stability and well-being. 4. Building self-discipline. Self-discipline is the cornerstone of personal growth and success, playing a crucial role in helping us achieve our goals and live a fulfilling life. In Buddhism, self-discipline is seen as essential for leading a balanced and meaningful life. It is the practice of controlling your impulses, staying committed to your goals, and consistently making choices that align with your values. By cultivating self-discipline, we gain the inner strength to overcome challenges, resist distractions, and focus on what truly matters. In Buddhism, self-discipline is not about following strict rules or imposing harsh limitations on oneself. Instead, it is about developing the inner strength and mindfulness needed to make wise choices that lead to personal growth and a deeper sense of purpose. Self-discipline in Buddhism is closely tied to the concept of living in harmony with your true self. This means aligning your actions with your values and intentions rather than being swayed by fleeting desires or external pressures. Building self-discipline involves creating and maintaining healthy habits that support your overall well-being. These habits might include regular meditation, mindful eating, or adhering to a consistent daily routine. Each of these practices requires a level of commitment and dedication, but they also provide a sense of structure and stability that can be incredibly beneficial for your mental and emotional health. One of the key aspects of self-discipline is the ability to develop and sustain healthy habits. These habits form the foundation of a balanced and purposeful life. For example, regular meditation is a practice that helps you cultivate mindfulness and self-awareness, allowing you to stay grounded and focused. By committing to this practice, you create a space in your life for reflection and inner growth. Mindful eating is another practice that requires self-discipline. It involves paying attention to what you eat, how you eat, and why you eat. Instead of eating mindlessly or out of habit, mindful eating encourages you to make conscious choices about your food, savoring each bite and appreciating the nourishment it provides. This practice not only supports physical health, but also fosters a deeper connection between your body and mind. Sticking to a daily routine is another way to build self-discipline. A consistent routine provides structure and helps you manage your time more effectively. It allows you to prioritize your tasks and ensure that you are dedicating time to the activities that matter most to you. Whether it's setting aside time for exercise, work, or relaxation, having a routine helps you stay on track and avoid the pitfalls of procrastination. One of the biggest challenges to self-discipline is overcoming procrastination and resisting distractions. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get sidetracked by the constant influx of information, social media, and other distractions. However, self-discipline empowers you to stay focused on your goals and resist the temptation to veer off course. Overcoming procrastination often requires breaking tasks down into smaller, manageable steps and setting clear deadlines. By doing this, you can reduce the feeling of being overwhelmed and make progress one step at a time. Self-discipline also involves setting boundaries with yourself, such as limiting the time spent on non-essential activities and prioritizing tasks that align with your long-term goals. Resisting distractions is another aspect of self-discipline that is crucial for maintaining focus. This might involve creating a dedicated workspace, turning off notifications on your devices, or setting specific times for checking emails and social media. By controlling your environment and being mindful of your habits, you can minimize distractions and create a more productive and focused mindset. In Buddhism, self-discipline is not just about achieving external success. It's also about cultivating inner peace and living a life of integrity. When you consistently make choices that align with your values and intentions, you create a sense of harmony within yourself. This inner harmony is the foundation of true peace and contentment. Self-discipline also helps you develop resilience in the face of challenges. By staying committed to your practices and goals, even when things get tough, you build the strength and confidence needed to navigate life's ups and downs. This resilience is key to maintaining a balanced and centered state of mind, allowing you to respond to difficulties with grace and clarity. Living with self-discipline also brings a sense of accomplishment. When you follow through on your commitments and achieve your goals, you experience a deep sense of satisfaction and pride. This feeling of accomplishment is not just about external achievements. It's also about knowing that you are living in alignment with your true self. At its core, self-discipline is about living a life of purpose and integrity. It's about making choices that reflect your deepest values and staying true to your intentions, even when it's difficult. This requires a high level of self-awareness and mindfulness, as well as a commitment to personal growth. In Buddhism, self-discipline is seen as a path to enlightenment. By cultivating discipline in your thoughts, actions, and habits, you gradually purify your mind and develop a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. This process of self-discovery leads to a more meaningful and fulfilling life, one that is guided by wisdom and compassion. In conclusion, self-discipline is the foundation of personal growth and success, and it is essential for leading a balanced and meaningful life. In Buddhism, self-discipline is not about rigidly following rules, but about cultivating the inner strength to live a life of purpose and integrity. By developing healthy habits, overcoming procrastination, and resisting distractions, you can stay focused on what truly matters and achieve a sense of accomplishment and inner peace. Self-discipline empowers you to live in harmony with your true self, creating a life that is aligned with your values and intentions. As you practice self-discipline, you build the resilience and clarity needed to navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. Ultimately, self-discipline is a powerful tool for personal and spiritual growth, helping you to lead a life of purpose, integrity, and inner peace. 5. Not caring what others think. Buddhism teaches that true freedom comes from within, and one of the key ways to achieve this inner freedom is by not being overly concerned with what others think of you. In today's society, it's easy to become preoccupied with how we are perceived by others, whether it's through social media, at work, or in our personal lives. This constant worry about others' opinions can lead to significant stress and anxiety, causing us to second-guess our decisions and at times even abandon our true selves. However, Buddhism offers a different perspective, one that encourages us to seek validation from within rather than from external sources. When we rely on others' opinions to define our self-worth, we place ourselves in a vulnerable position. We become like leaves in the wind, easily swayed by the shifting opinions of those around us. This can lead to a life filled with uncertainty and self-doubt. We might find ourselves making choices based not on what we truly believe or want, but on what we think will please others or earn their approval. Over time, this can lead to a sense of dissatisfaction and disconnect from our true selves. Buddhism teaches that our worth is not determined by external opinions or societal expectations. Instead, it comes from within, from our own understanding of who we are and what we value. When we constantly seek validation from others, we give away our power and allow others to shape our sense of self. This can be exhausting and ultimately unfulfilling because external validation is fleeting and often inconsistent. The practice of Buddhism encourages us to look inward for validation and self-worth. This means developing a deep understanding of ourselves, our values, and our beliefs. By doing so, we can make decisions that are aligned with our true selves, rather than trying to meet the expectations of others. This inner validation is a source of strength and stability, allowing us to remain true to who we are, even in the face of external pressures. One way to cultivate inner validation is through mindfulness and meditation. These practices help us become more aware of our thoughts and feelings, allowing us to observe them without judgment. Through mindfulness, we can recognize when we are seeking approval from others and gently guide ourselves back to a place of self-acceptance. Meditation can also help us connect with our inner wisdom, providing clarity and insight into what truly matters to us. When we let go of the need for approval from others, we free ourselves to live more authentically. Authenticity means being true to who we are, making decisions that reflect our values and beliefs rather than conforming to what we think others expect of us. This doesn't mean we become insensitive to others' feelings or disregard their opinions entirely. Rather, it means that we prioritize our own inner peace and happiness, understanding that we cannot please everyone and that our worth is not dependent on others' approval. Living authentically also involves embracing our imperfections and being honest about our strengths and weaknesses. It means accepting ourselves as we are, without trying to fit into someone else's idea of who we should be. When we live authentically, we create a life that is meaningful and fulfilling, one that is aligned with our true selves. Letting go of the need for others' approval is liberating. It allows us to focus on what truly matters to us and to pursue our goals and dreams without fear of judgment or rejection. This freedom brings a sense of inner peace and contentment, as we are no longer burdened by the constant worry of what others think. In Buddhism, this practice of letting go is seen as a path to enlightenment. By releasing our attachment to external validation, we free ourselves from the cycle of suffering that comes from trying to control how others perceive us. Instead, we can focus on cultivating our inner wisdom and compassion, leading to a deeper sense of fulfillment and joy. This process of letting go is not always easy, especially in a world that often emphasizes the importance of external success and approval. However, with practice and patience, it is possible to shift our focus inward and find the peace and freedom that comes from living authentically. In conclusion, Buddhism teaches that true freedom comes from within, and one of the most important ways to achieve this freedom is by letting go of the need for approval from others. By focusing on inner validation and understanding that our worth is not determined by external opinions, we can live more authentically and make decisions that align with our true selves. This doesn't mean we become indifferent to others' feelings, but rather that we prioritize our own inner peace and happiness. When we stop worrying about what others think, we free ourselves to live a life that is true to who we really are. This freedom allows us to embrace our uniqueness, pursue our passions, and create a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. In doing so, we find not only inner peace, but also the strength and resilience to navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. Ultimately, by letting go of external validation, we open the door to a deeper understanding of ourselves and a more profound sense of inner freedom. 6. Building mental strength. Mental strength is a fundamental concept in Buddhism and is crucial for navigating life's challenges with resilience and clarity. In a world filled with distractions, stress, and constant change, developing mental strength is more important than ever. Buddhism views mental strength as a skill that can be cultivated through consistent practice, much like exercising a muscle. The stronger your mind becomes, the better equipped you are to handle difficulties with grace and wisdom. Building mental strength often begins with practices like meditation, mindfulness, and contemplation. Meditation is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice and serves as a tool for quieting the mind. By regularly engaging in meditation, you learn to detach from unnecessary worries and cultivate a sense of inner calm. This practice allows you to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them, creating space for clarity and peace. Over time, meditation helps you build a strong, focused mind that remains steady even in challenging situations. Mindfulness, another key practice in Buddhism, involves staying fully present and engaged in each moment. In our fast-paced lives, it's easy to get swept up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. Mindfulness teaches us to focus on the here and now, reducing the impact of negative thoughts and emotions. By being fully present, we can respond to life's challenges with greater awareness and intentionality, rather than reacting impulsively. An essential aspect of mental strength in Buddhism is the ability to let go of things you cannot control. Many of our mental struggles stem from trying to control the uncontrollable, whether it's the behavior of others, future events, or past experiences. Buddhism encourages us to accept what is, without resistance or attachment. This acceptance is not about passivity. Rather, it's about understanding the reality of a situation and choosing to respond wisely. For example, when faced with a difficult situation, instead of becoming frustrated or anxious because things aren't going as planned, mental strength allows you to take a step back, assess the situation with clarity, and decide on the best course of action. By letting go of the need to control everything, you free your mind from unnecessary stress and allow yourself to focus on what truly matters. Another vital component of mental strength is the cultivation of a positive mindset, even in the face of adversity. In Buddhism, practices like loving-kindness meditation are used to foster compassion and goodwill towards oneself and others. Loving-kindness meditation involves actively generating feelings of love and kindness, first towards yourself, and then extending those feelings to others, including those with whom you may have difficulties. By regularly engaging in these practices, you can rewire your brain to focus on positivity and resilience. This doesn't mean ignoring or denying negative emotions. Rather, it's about creating a balanced perspective where positive thoughts and emotions are given just as much, if not more, attention than negative ones. Over time, this shift in focus helps build a resilient mindset that can withstand the challenges of life without being overwhelmed by them. Emotional regulation is another key aspect of mental strength. Buddhism teaches that while emotions are a natural part of the human experience, they do not have to control your actions. By observing your emotions with mindfulness, you can learn to manage them effectively, preventing them from leading you into destructive behaviors or thought patterns. For instance, if you feel anger rising within you, mindfulness allows you to recognize this emotion, understand its source, and choose how to respond. Instead of lashing out impulsively, you might take a few deep breaths, reflect on the situation, and respond in a way that aligns with your values and intentions. Building mental strength through these Buddhist practices allows you to approach life with a sense of equanimity, a balanced, composed state of mind that remains unshaken by the highs and lows of existence. Equanimity doesn't mean indifference. It means maintaining a steady, peaceful mind regardless of external circumstances. This mental fortitude not only helps you cope with life's challenges, but also enables you to live with greater peace, purpose, and joy. As you continue to develop mental strength through Buddhist practices, you'll find yourself better equipped to handle whatever life throws your way. This inner strength allows you to stay true to your values and inner wisdom, even in the face of adversity. Over time, as your mental strength grows, you will experience a deeper sense of stability and confidence, knowing that you have the tools to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. In conclusion, mental strength is a core concept in Buddhism, essential for living a balanced and meaningful life. By practicing meditation, mindfulness, and letting go of what you cannot control, you can build a strong, resilient mind. Cultivating a positive mindset and emotional regulation further enhances this strength, allowing you to live with equanimity and inner peace. As your mental strength develops, you'll find that life's challenges become more manageable, and you'll be able to face them with clarity, confidence, and compassion. 7. Embrace impermanence. Impermanence, or anicca, is one of the most fundamental teachings in Buddhism, and understanding it can profoundly transform the way we live our lives. Impermanence refers to the idea that everything in life is in a constant state of flux. Nothing remains the same forever, whether it's our emotions, our relationships, our successes, or even our failures. Everything is transient. By fully embracing this truth, we can learn to navigate life's changes with greater ease and wisdom. At first, the concept of impermanence might seem unsettling. It's natural to seek stability and permanence in our lives, whether it's through relationships, material possessions, or personal achievements. We often cling to the things we love, fearing their loss. However, Buddhism teaches that this clinging is a primary source of suffering. When we expect things to remain the same, we set ourselves up for disappointment, as change is inevitable. By embracing impermanence, we can begin to let go of our attachments and the fear that often accompanies them. For example, when we accept that relationships may change, we can appreciate them more fully in the present moment, rather than worrying about their future. Similarly, when we understand that material possessions are temporary, we can enjoy them without becoming overly attached or defined by them. Impermanence also encourages us to live more fully in the present moment. Knowing that everything is fleeting can inspire us to cherish each experience, each interaction, and each moment as it comes, without taking anything for granted. This awareness can deepen our appreciation for life, making us more mindful of the beauty and richness in everyday experiences. Embracing impermanence can help us cope with difficult situations. When we're faced with hardship or loss, the knowledge that this too shall pass can provide comfort and hope. It reminds us that pain is not permanent and that better days will come. This understanding allows us to endure tough times with greater resilience, knowing that change is the only constant. In a broader sense, accepting impermanence can lead to a profound sense of liberation. When we no longer cling to the idea of permanence, we free ourselves from the fear of loss and the anxiety of the unknown. This freedom allows us to live with greater spontaneity and openness, welcoming new experiences without the need to control or predict their outcomes. Embracing impermanence also teaches us humility. It reminds us that our successes and failures are not fixed, but part of a larger, ever-changing process. This perspective can help us stay grounded, preventing us from becoming overly proud in times of success or overly discouraged in times of failure. In practical terms, embracing impermanence means being flexible and adaptable. Life will inevitably throw unexpected challenges our way, and by accepting change as a natural part of life, we can respond with creativity and resilience. Instead of resisting change or trying to hold on to the past, we can flow with the natural rhythm of life, adjusting our course as needed. The Buddhist teaching of impermanence invites us to live with a sense of acceptance and peace. By recognizing and embracing the transient nature of all things, we can release our attachments, reduce our suffering, and cultivate a deeper, more meaningful connection with the world around us. This acceptance doesn't lead to passivity, but rather empowers us to engage with life fully, with an open heart and a clear mind, ready to embrace whatever comes our way. 8. Let go of attachment. Attachment is a central concept in Buddhism, and learning to let go of attachment is crucial for achieving inner peace and true happiness. In the Buddhist context, attachment refers to the tendency to cling to people, objects, ideas, or outcomes in the belief that they will bring us lasting happiness or fulfillment. However, Buddhism teaches that attachment is one of the primary sources of suffering, as it often leads to disappointment, anxiety, and a sense of lack when things don't go as we expect. We often attach ourselves to things that we believe are essential for our happiness, whether it's a relationship, a job, a material possession, or even our own ideas and beliefs. While these things can bring temporary satisfaction, Buddhism reminds us that nothing in life is permanent, and clinging to impermanent things only sets us up for suffering. When we hold on too tightly, we become afraid of losing what we have or not getting what we desire, which leads to a cycle of fear, craving, and dissatisfaction. Letting go of attachment doesn't mean that we should renounce all our desires or live a life of deprivation. Instead, it's about recognizing that our happiness and sense of self-worth shouldn't be dependent on external factors. It's about cultivating a mindset of non-attachment, where we can enjoy life's pleasures and engage in relationships without becoming overly attached to them. This doesn't mean we care less, but rather that we learn to care in a way that is free from clinging and possessiveness. One of the first steps in letting go of attachment is developing awareness of our attachments. This requires mindfulness, becoming conscious of the things, people, or outcomes that we are clinging to, and understanding how they influence our emotions and behavior. Through mindfulness, we can observe how our attachments create suffering and begin to loosen their grip on us. For example, if we notice that we are overly attached to the approval of others, we can start to question why we seek that validation and how it affects our sense of self. Another key aspect of letting go of attachment is embracing impermanence. By recognizing that everything in life is transient, relationships, material possessions, even our own thoughts and feelings, we can begin to release our need to hold on tightly. This doesn't mean that we stop caring or that we become indifferent, but rather that we accept the natural flow of life and allow things to come and go without resistance. When we understand that everything is impermanent, we can enjoy the present moment more fully without being consumed by fear of loss. Letting go of attachment also involves developing a sense of inner contentment and self-sufficiency. Instead of looking to external things or people to fulfill us, Buddhism encourages us to find contentment within ourselves. This might involve cultivating qualities like self-love, compassion, and inner peace, which provide a stable foundation for happiness that isn't dependent on external circumstances. When we are content within ourselves, we are less likely to cling to things outside of us for validation or security. In relationships, letting go of attachment means loving without clinging or trying to control the other person. It's about allowing others the freedom to be themselves and recognizing that love is not about possession, but about connection and mutual respect. This type of love is often referred to as unconditional love in Buddhism, where we care deeply for others without expecting anything in return or needing them to fulfill our own desires. Another important practice in letting go of attachment is learning to release our attachment to specific outcomes. Often we become attached to the idea of how things should be, whether it's our career path, our relationships, or our life goals. When things don't go as planned, this attachment can lead to frustration and disappointment. By letting go of rigid expectations, we open ourselves to new possibilities and allow life to unfold in its own way, trusting that everything happens for a reason. Letting go of attachment is also about releasing our attachment to our own ego. The ego is often driven by a need for recognition, success, and validation, which can lead to a constant striving for more. Buddhism teaches that true peace comes from transcending the ego and realizing that our true nature is beyond these external identifications. By letting go of the need to prove ourselves or achieve external success, we can find a deeper sense of fulfillment that is not dependent on anything outside of us. Letting go of attachment is a gradual process. It requires patience, mindfulness, and self-compassion. It's about making small shifts in how we perceive and interact with the world, gradually loosening the grip of attachment on our hearts and minds. As we let go, we find that we are freer, lighter, and more at peace. 9. Practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is a powerful and transformative practice in Buddhism, one that can significantly enhance our overall sense of well-being and happiness. Practicing gratitude daily involves consciously focusing on the positive aspects of life, appreciating what we have rather than lamenting what we lack. In Buddhism, gratitude is not just a fleeting emotion, but a fundamental attitude that can reshape our entire outlook on life. The practice of gratitude begins with a simple yet profound shift in perspective. Instead of taking things for granted, we start to notice and acknowledge the many blessings in our lives. This could be as basic as appreciating the food we eat, the shelter we have, the health we enjoy, or the people who care about us. By bringing these blessings into our awareness, we counterbalance the natural human tendency to focus on what's missing or what's wrong. Gratitude in Buddhism is also about recognizing the interdependence of all things. Nothing we have or experience exists in isolation. Everything is the result of countless conditions and efforts by others. For instance, the food on our plate is the result of the work of farmers, the transport systems that delivered it, the natural elements that nurtured it, and much more. By recognizing this interconnectedness, we cultivate a deep sense of appreciation for the world around us and the web of life that sustains us. One of the most effective ways to cultivate gratitude is through a daily gratitude practice. This could be as simple as keeping a gratitude journal where you write down 3 things you're grateful for each day. These can be big or small. What matters is the act of reflection and acknowledgement. Over time, this practice can train your mind to seek out and focus on the positive aspects of your life, even in the midst of challenges. This shift in focus can lead to increased happiness, better relationships, and a more optimistic outlook. Gratitude also plays a vital role in developing contentment. In a culture that often promotes the pursuit of more wealth, more success, more possessions, Gratitude teaches us to appreciate what we already have. It helps us realize that true wealth lies not in accumulating more, but in being content with what we have. When we practice gratitude, we shift from a mindset of scarcity and lack to one of abundance and sufficiency. This doesn't mean we stop striving for improvement, but rather that we do so from a place of contentment rather than dissatisfaction. Gratitude is deeply connected to the Buddhist practice of mindfulness. When we are mindful, we are fully present in the moment, and in this state we can more easily notice and appreciate the blessings around us. Mindful gratitude allows us to savor life's experiences, whether it's enjoying a warm cup of tea, feeling the sun on our skin, or spending time with loved ones. By being present and grateful in each moment, we enhance our capacity for joy and fulfillment. Another important aspect of gratitude in Buddhism is its role in fostering compassion and kindness. When we are grateful for the kindness of others and the support we receive, we naturally feel more inclined to give back and spread kindness in return. Gratitude opens up our hearts, making us more empathetic and generous. It reminds us that we are all interconnected and that our well-being is intertwined with the well-being of others. Practicing gratitude also helps us navigate difficult times with greater resilience. When life presents challenges, it's easy to become overwhelmed by negativity. However, by maintaining a gratitude practice, we can find things to be thankful for, even in the midst of adversity. This doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties we face, but rather balancing them with an awareness of the good that still exists. This practice can provide a sense of hope and strength, helping us to endure and overcome hardships with grace. Gratitude is also a powerful antidote to negative emotions such as envy, resentment, and frustration. When we focus on what we have and appreciate it fully, there's less room for these negative emotions to take root. Gratitude shifts our attention away from what others have that we don't, and instead fosters a sense of satisfaction with our own lives. This shift in focus can lead to greater inner peace and contentment. In the Buddhist tradition, gratitude is not limited to the good times or the things that are easy to appreciate. It also extends to the challenges and difficulties we face. These too can be seen as opportunities for growth and learning. By being grateful for our challenges, we can transform them into valuable lessons that contribute to our personal and spiritual development. 10. Prioritize inner peace. Inner peace is often considered the ultimate goal in Buddhism, a state of calm, serenity, and contentment that remains unshaken by the external circumstances of life. Prioritizing inner peace means making a conscious choice to focus on your mental and emotional well-being, even in the midst of a chaotic world. It involves cultivating a deep sense of tranquility and balance that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and clarity. The pursuit of inner peace begins with understanding that true peace comes from within, not from external achievements, possessions, or circumstances. In a world that often emphasizes the importance of success, wealth, and social status, Buddhism offers a different perspective, that lasting peace and happiness can only be found by turning inward. This doesn't mean withdrawing from the world, but rather engaging with it from a place of centeredness and stability. One of the key practices for cultivating inner peace in Buddhism is meditation. Meditation allows us to quiet the mind, release stress, and connect with our true selves. Through regular meditation, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. This detachment from the constant chatter of the mind helps us to see things more clearly and to respond to life situations with wisdom and calm, rather than reacting out of fear or anger. Over time, meditation deepens our sense of inner peace, making it easier to maintain this state even in challenging situations. Mindfulness is another essential practice for prioritizing inner peace. Mindfulness involves being fully present in each moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings and surroundings without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, we can prevent our minds from becoming overwhelmed by worries about the future or regrets about the past. This presence in the moment allows us to experience life more fully and to find peace in the simple act of being. Mindfulness also helps us to notice when our peace is being disturbed, giving us the opportunity to address the cause and return to a state of balance. Prioritizing inner peace also requires letting go of things that disrupt our tranquility. This might mean releasing attachments to material possessions, toxic relationships, or negative thought patterns that cause unnecessary stress and anxiety. It also involves setting healthy boundaries to protect our peace, whether that's by limiting our exposure to negative influences, saying no to commitments that drain us, or creating a peaceful environment at home. By letting go of what no longer serves us, we create space for peace to flourish in our lives. A crucial aspect of maintaining inner peace is cultivating a mindset of acceptance. Life is full of unexpected events and changes, many of which are beyond our control. By accepting things as they are, rather than resisting or wishing them to be different, we reduce the inner turmoil that comes from fighting against reality. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity or giving up on positive change, but rather approaching life's challenges with a sense of calm and understanding. This acceptance helps us to remain peaceful even when things don't go as planned. Compassion is another important component of inner peace. In Buddhism, it is believed that true peace cannot exist without compassion for others. When we act with kindness and empathy, we not only contribute to the well-being of others, but also nourish our own inner peace. Compassion helps us to transcend the ego, reducing conflicts and fostering harmonious relationships. It allows us to approach others with understanding and patience, which in turn creates a peaceful environment in which we can thrive. Gratitude, as discussed earlier, also plays a significant role in prioritizing inner peace. When we focus on the blessings in our lives, we shift our attention away from what's lacking and reduce the feelings of discontent that disturb our peace. By practicing gratitude, we cultivate a positive mindset that supports inner tranquility. Another aspect of prioritizing inner peace is developing emotional resilience. Life is full of ups and downs, and it's natural to experience a range of emotions. However, by building emotional resilience, we can remain steady and peaceful even in the face of adversity. This resilience comes from understanding that emotions are temporary and learning not to be swept away by them. By practicing mindfulness and meditation, we can observe our emotions without being controlled by them, maintaining our peace regardless of external circumstances. Prioritizing inner peace also involves simplifying our lives. In a world that often values busyness and constant activity, simplicity can be a powerful path to peace. This might involve decluttering our physical space, reducing our commitments, or slowing down our pace of life. By simplifying, we free ourselves from the stress of trying to do and have too much, allowing us to focus on what truly matters and what brings us joy and peace. In Buddhism, inner peace is also linked to the practice of non-attachment. Non-attachment doesn't mean detachment or indifference, but rather not clinging to things that are beyond our control. This includes not becoming overly attached to our desires, opinions, or the need to be right. By practicing non-attachment, we reduce the inner conflicts that arise from trying to control or hold on to things that are impermanent. This practice frees us from the emotional highs and lows that disturb our peace, allowing us to maintain a state of equanimity. Prioritizing inner peace means making it a daily practice, It's not something that happens automatically or overnight, but something we cultivate through consistent effort. This might involve daily meditation, mindful breathing, regular reflection, or simply taking time each day to relax and unwind. By making inner peace a priority, we build a strong foundation for a life that is not only successful, but also deeply fulfilling and joyful. Prioritizing inner peace allows us to live with greater clarity, compassion, and contentment. It helps us to navigate life's challenges with a steady mind and an open heart, creating a ripple effect of peace that extends to those around us. By making inner peace the cornerstone of our lives, we align ourselves with the deeper truths of Buddhism and create a life that is harmonious, balanced, and full of joy. These 10 principles are more than just concepts to think about. They are actionable steps that can bring about profound change in your life. By incorporating them into your daily routine, you can start to see a transformation that begins from within and radiates outwards. As you embrace these practices, you'll notice shifts in your mindset, relationships, and overall well-being. It's not just about understanding these principles intellectually, but about living them every day and allowing them to guide your actions. If this video brought value to your life, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insights on living a meaningful and fulfilled life. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let us know which principle resonated with you the most and how you plan to integrate it into your life. Your engagement helps us continue to create content that supports your journey towards a more purposeful and joyful existence.